G'day cheeky dogs and welcome to Rusty Week.
Yeah, Rusty!
Today we're going to be talking about the evolution of Rusty in the episode Cricket from Bluey Season 3C. And specifically we're going to look at this and how it is shown through his interactions with his sister Dusty, as well as Bandit, who is the narrator of this episode. And then of course how Rusty's evolution answers Bluey's question about what is the point of cricket.
But cricket's just about hitting a ball around the grass.
Cricket's about more than that, kid.
Now, I want to start off first, though, with the sort of mirroring between Rusty and Bandit, and specifically the episodes Cricket and Obstacle Course. And then I'm going to talk about Dusty and how that specifically shows Rusty's evolution as well. So, right at the very beginning, we find out from Bandit that Rusty just loves cricket.
Now, what we didn't know was that Rusty loved cricket.
But it didn't exactly start off that way, and we see in the flashback scene when he's playing in his front yard with his older brother and younger sister, Rusty's main focus is technically on winning. He just wants to get 50 runs, and that's his main focus. He doesn't really care so much about the fact that his sister really wants to play cricket with him, and he just sort of ignores her.
Not yet, Dusty. I'm almost at 50.
His main goal is just to reach 50 runs. That's what he wants to win at, basically. And this really mirrors what the adults are doing in the game at Watonga Park in the present day of the episode.
You'll never get Rusty out.
I think I can handle it.
The game starts off super fun. Everyone's just having a bat, doing their best sort of thing. They're not really focused on winning. The adults or the dads don't really care about it until Rusty comes on and shows that he's a really good player. And then that's when we see Bandit switch. He goes from playing a fun game of cricket to all of a sudden wanting to win, or more specifically, not wanting to lose to a child. Does that sound a little bit familiar? Because it should, because that was the whole thing going on in the episode Obstacle Course.
I think the mongoose couldn't handle losing to a child.
So of course, Obstacle Course, the focus that Chili was trying to teach the kids was the idea of just playing a game for fun, not for actually winning.
No one's racing anyone. This is just for having fun.
But in the end, Bluey does also learn that practicing can be fun and there's fun in competition as well. However, we did learn a little bit about Bandit's idea of competition and the fact that he does not do well when losing to a child and he's willing to cheat.
What was that?
You cheated!
And that is just not cricket.
It's not cricket!
And if you are not Australian, that slang term I just used probably makes no sense to you. Although I'm sure it would though if you're in the UK. So let me just explain it. The term "it's just not cricket" is a very popular term in Australia and in other very popular cricket-based countries like the UK. And it basically means that something is not right, that you've done something wrong, that you've cheated, that it's not okay whatever it is that you've done. And basically that it's not gentlemanly, which is the whole idea of cricket, that it is a gentleman's sport, it's all about fair play. And of course what Bandit did in the obstacle course was not cricket.
Yeah!
Hey!
And then that kind of brings us back into the present day of the episode Cricket, where the dads, Pat, Stripe, and Bandit, are all trying to use their own knowledge of cricket to try and beat this kid.
Stripe, put it right on that crack there, see? Oh yeah, good call.
And yeah, they've been playing cricket for ages. They're full grown-ups, so it's kind of not cricket what they're doing. Even though, yeah, they're using cricket plays, but they're trying to be a bit cheeky about it because they're really trying to get him out.
You and me will move to gully and point. You send one to his off stump. Lure him into the catch.
Rather than just having a fun game with him and bowling to him so that he can bat some runs and interact with all the other kids. The parents have switched. They've gone to just focusing on not losing to a kid and that they need to win and get Rusty out. And that's not what's going on with Rusty. Instead, what we see is over an entire year or more, the evolution of Rusty's journey through cricket and through initially wanting to sort of win and be good at it, to him understanding why he cares and loves cricket so much and how he really wants to make sure that Dusty also feels the same. So let's dive in then to the Dusty portion of this video and how it shows Rusty's specific evolution through the episode. So we start right all the way back at the episode at Watonga Park, where we see a shot of Rusty and Dusty hanging out together. And Rusty didn't actually put his hand up to bat. He was more focused on helping his little sister and teaching her how to catch a ball if it went her way. And this is really important because, of course, when we look all the way back in that flashback, Dusty really wanted to play with Rusty. She wanted him to hit her a catch.
Can you hit me a catch?
And that wasn't what he did. He ignored her. He wasn't really focused on interacting or playing with her at all. He's not focused on the camaraderie of cricket, he's focused on winning or achieving his goals. But like I said, this changes over an entire year.
Rusty played at Jack's a lot that year.
The first lesson that we see Rusty learning is the idea of practice makes perfect. And of course we see this because Rusty learns that he should not be hitting balls into the kitchen window, but instead he practices and practices and practices until he can get the perfect square cut. And then we see him learning about the second lesson, and that is how to deal with unpredictable situations, specifically with the Moreton Bay fig tree at Jack's house. And I think this is a really fantastic lesson because, again, this is something that is very applicable to real life. We will always have unpredictable situations happen to us, and how we deal with it is very much a reflection of our character. And in this situation, we see Rusty getting frustrated, and he could have just given up and been like, hey Jack, let's just go inside instead. But he doesn't. He perseveres instead. And again, this sort of shows us the lesson of perseverance and what that can help you achieve. Because Rusty decided to use his frustration as motivation and perseverance, he was able to overcome these unpredictable situations and constantly hit the balls all the way up onto Jack's roof. But Rusty's love for cricket also teaches us more. We learn about how to face our fears and to never give up even when you're really scared. And this of course is all shown through the scene with Rusty and his older brothers and his mates all playing cricket with a real cricket bat, a real cricket ball, and a real cricket cement pitch as well. So all pretty dangerous for a little kid in comparison to teenage kids, but we see Rusty overcome his fear with a little bit of help. And that kind of brings in this next lesson of how the love and support from your family can help you achieve your goals. And Rusty kind of got advice from two different people in his family. He got some from his brother and he got some from his dad. And I think this is really important and shows that Rusty's dad really has such an impact on his life and how he wants to be as well. Because Rusty's older brother's advice was just wait until you get older.
Maybe wait till you're a bit older.
And we can see from Rusty's face that this is not the advice that he wanted. And it didn't really help him achieve anything either. You know, he was gonna try and beat Tiny, he was gonna face his fears that way, but it didn't help. It didn't really give him the courage that he needed. However, the letter from his dad did. And that's because his dad was so much more supportive and really encouraging. It gave him some great metaphors for how to face Tiny.
As you grow up, you'll face harder things than a cricket ball, and you'll have two choices. Back away and get out, or step in front and play a pull shot.
And because of that love and encouragement, he was able to face his fears and he was able to finally hit the ball. But something else that was also in his dad's letter was about taking care of his little sister. And I think again that Rusty, especially after seeing how much his dad's letter helped him, he took this part of the letter really to heart and decided to embrace that part and really take care of his little sister, but not in the way that his older brother was trying to take care of him. So by the end of the episode, we can see that Rusty's view about his relationship with cricket has really changed. He has learnt the value of motivation, perseverance, and resilience as well. Facing your fears even when you're scared, but more importantly about the camaraderie of cricket. Cricket is a really bonding experience, like a lot of sports are, and we see in the beach scene that this is just perfectly shown with Rusty's idea of his family and the fact that they all bond together over their love of playing beach cricket. And it's just that beautiful camaraderie of how they all feel when they're playing together because everyone's happy. And at the end of the day, that's what ends up being most important to Rusty, is that everyone is loving what they're doing together. And I gotta add in this little part here that for myself, I don't like cricket, but I love beach cricket. And this one scene really got me because yeah, regular cricket is really long and I can find it really boring, but there's something about beach cricket, and especially for Australians, because this is something we play at Christmas, especially in the summer, and it's just that feeling of being with your family, and it's something a much smaller scale, so it's very easy for everyone to play together. So this scene definitely hit home for me in really pushing the idea of like cricket is about bonding and camaraderie and just all loving doing something together. And so of course this comes all the way back to Dusty and the very end, where yes, Rusty could have hit that ball out of the park, but rather than trying to beat the dads, his focus was on bonding with his little sister, and instead he finally hit her a catch.
I got it!
He hit his little sister a catch.
And showing that you can achieve what you've been practicing with a little bit of help from your family and some support. So for me, this episode was a 5 out of 5 long dogs. I absolutely loved the whole messaging through it, of just the evolution of Rusty and his relationship with cricket, what it shows us that sports and cricket themselves can actually do for you and for children, and how it can teach them so much as well about just general life lessons that are, yeah, applicable throughout the rest of your life. But then also it kind of shows us like what happens if you don't learn about like those good sportsmanship rules, with Bandit's reaction to always not wanting to lose. So I think it's just a great example of showing how sports can have such a positive influence on a child's life. And yeah, that's basically cricket.
That's what cricket's about, kid.
But cheeky dogs, if you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button down below, as well as that subscribe button and that bell for notifications, because I have a lot of Rusty content coming out this week. But until all those videos come out, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah, bye!